girls were born.
Right.
So she was born either, my grandma was just
The mayor
18 months,
stuff out.
while my grandfather was in Korea,
Pretty crazy.
or somebody visited. So that was like a huge secret. My grandmother. She's not born for real fast. While my grandfather was in Korea.
Well, it always seems quicker than I realized.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's my work all the time.
All right, we have like about 20 seconds, then you can go live.
We changed the camera angle. I'm looking a little thick.
There's some Photoshop thing.
What's that thing the kids do? They put the thing on.
The filter?
Yeah, that filter, yeah. Filter that.
Like the rabbit ears or?
I think it's get color in my shirt.
I think it's good.
We're live.
Are you live?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Welcome, everyone. This is the regular monthly board meeting for the Tioga County Industrial Development Agency. It is Wednesday, September 6th, 2023 at 4:30 p.m. This meeting is hereby called to order. Christine, could we do a roll call, please?
Jen Checarelli.
Yeah.
Kevin Gillette. Fred Starbright. Tracy Manell.
Yes.
Eric Knowles.
Yes.
John Ward.
Yes.
Mary Tom.
Yes.
John, yay, right on time.
Making a grand entrance.
First item on the agenda is privilege of the floor. We have none. This evening, we do have a guest tonight. Your name again?
George Ballard.
Thank you, George. Can I please, to start off, can I please have a motion to approve the August board meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Let's get into the financial. I think that comes under later.
We can do it now. We can do it later.
Maybe I do.
Right here.
I do. I have the preliminary. I didn't reprint the new one.
Sorry.
That's all right. You have to help keep up too.
Make a motion, we accept the road committee minutes.
Thank you so much. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Moving on to the financial. John, do you have any comments?
No, Christine and I went over everything in the last few days. So.
Okay, good. I would have a question about budget process, but let's do the vote first. Can I please have a motion to approve the financial?
I'm the one.
Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. So let's talk about our budget timeline of how this is gonna go forward. I think our budget is due at the end of October, correct?
Correct.
All right, so we're gonna have to obviously have a financial committee review like we did last year, John. And that went very smoothly. I think we kind of have it down to a science, so.
I would agree. So we should hold that meeting prior to October's board meeting.
Yes, and we can approve a budget at that time, so it'll be prepared. Okay, great, thank you.
I'll go ahead and schedule that soon.
This is Kenny. What have you to say?
I have lots. In your packets, I think Christine included a summary, economic development and community development, Village of Owego, downtown revitalization and administration that are ongoing.
H3.
We do have the memo of understanding in place now between the IDA and the county for the past 95% of the admin fee associated with the IDA DRI project, so that is in place. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Christine, for helping me get that together. Restore New York, there are two of them out there. County is the applicant on Buddy Duddies. It's moving forward. A reminder that's the $1.8 million Restore project. Excuse me. Tiger Trails, that as well is moving forward ever so slowly, but it is moving forward. That was a $1 million award. So Megan and Brittany have been working on both of those, so thanks for their assistance and patience. CDBG, Megan has taken over the administration of this project. That's the Racker project. It's nearing completion of a signed contract with the builder. We're getting closer.
I think so.
Not
fine
yet. Because we have the builder Mancini here. So.
This
the-
is going across the street from Home Central?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's particularly challenging because you have two federal sources. We have the CDBG source, and then we also have USDA funds involved in the project as well. And everybody's got to bless everything. So it's been challenging, and Megan's done a really good job.
Keep up the good work.
She's doing a great job. Village of Waverly, New York Forward, local planning committee meets again on September 13th. We have word that there are 25 projects that have been submitted. We'll have a breakdown, summary of all that from the consultants by the end of this week. And then at the local planning committee meeting next week, we'll be reviewing all those projects and starting to go through the process of figuring out which ones will stay in and which ones might not quite make the cut. There will be a community engagement session on September 27th. The potential housing project in Waverly has been delayed until spring, the spring funding round. We're having a hard time connecting with the property owner, but we continue to try to make that happen. Town of Nichols, the broadband project is complete. I'm waiting for a final report from Southern Tier Network with absolute final numbers on that, but it's looking pretty good. About somewhere around over 300 people have signed up, available to over 800 residences and businesses in the town of Nichols. It really was a great project, and just waiting on the final numbers. The land bank, the discussion the land bank was having with the Liberty Street developers has been discontinued. They couldn't come to an agreement. So we're kind of back to the drawing table on that. Brittany's kind of figuring out what other possible options there might be there. I'm sure she'll come up with something that's she'll figure something out there in certain of it. Gander Main Street, final stages, post renovation testing is happening right now. Again, that's something that Megan has been managing. 81 North Avenue. That property has been purchased by the land bank, and a New York Main Street application has been made. So we'll hope to hear on that before the end of the year, whether that's going to be funded or not. And Brett and Megan have both been busy going out to do site visits on upcoming foreclosure properties. Workforce development, the talent supply joint meeting that Sean put together was well attended. I think he had some great partners at the table. So he as well is doing really great work. Continues to work with Spencer Burnett and Waverly on a career center partnership. What they're looking to do is place a career center staff person within the school 1 day a week. Multi-school. And the thinking is to connect the students with a person and make them aware of services that are available to them before they leave school, so that they could start, doing that planning. So waiting till they get to school and then saying, "Oh, what am I going to do?" So we're hoping to make that connection while they're, in their single year.
Leanne, I think we also want to open those schools up to the public for anybody in the public who's looking for work as well
Yes,
with that person.
that's great. Planning, Elaine continues to work on the countywide strategic plan, much to Tracy's chagrin. The department head work plans are due. They've been requested due by I believe, Friday of this week, so she continues to assist in putting that plan together. And the hazard mitigation plan update is ongoing as well. Sustainability management, Ellen continues to work with municipalities on e-waste events. If you have an opportunity to go onto the website and view her Nichols Med Shed and Catholic Charities videos, it's worth it. They're really fantastic. And Nathaniel Tabor, who did the Team Tioga video, did these two. He just tugs at the heartstrings every time he does something. So they're really great. You really should go out and take a look at them if you get a chance. And she's working on updating the solid waste management plan as well. Tourism, hotel, motel tax, local law renewal is due. The intent, there has been the public hearing, there's no opposition, it will remain at 4%, not making any changes to the local law. And it's slated for legislative approval. The September 12th meeting. I don't foresee any problem for that. Presentations, we did a lenders roundtable on August 10th. It was very well attended. Team Tioga assisted the chamber in putting that together. A great panel. I think it went well. As well, there was not-for-profit roundtable immediately following as well, and that was well attended. And thanks to Christine for helping to put those events together. And then we got a call from the Greater Valley Chamber of Commerce. Jan Lee reached out and said, hey, we'd really like to do something with, offer some information to our local businesses about funding opportunities. So Christine worked with Jan and we put together a session on August 31st. A small group, but I think it was really great. And I think Jan was very appreciative for your work on that. So thank you for that. And then on a very sad note, just let everybody know that Abby Ortu, our community development specialist, has tendered her resignation. She'll be done on September 13th. We'll wish her well. She's moving on to a position with Cornell. Sorry to see her leave Team Tioga. She's been an incredibly valuable asset to our efforts and we'll miss her.
Right, moving on to new business, Christine.
So we have a lease request from Verizon, which RJ Corman has approved. They're putting overhead wire behind Owego Appalachian School Districts right here. And RJ Corman approved it, so I'm requesting this board approve a lease for starting at $900 a year and rising with the CPI increase annually. Right now, we have a lease with Verizon, which is almost at 900, has been rising with CPI, so I'm just basing the amount off of
We
that.
have 900 is good. Can I have a motion to approve the new lease?
So moved.
How about a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
That's similar size lease, right? The last one.
Yeah, that was one of the leaking thing.
To be honest, I don't know. I didn't pull up the old lease record and check like footage or anything like that.
Curious if we're leaving money on the table or that customary.
Mine's about, I have one on my school, it's $900. Probably about the same. I mean, that's a power, we need power.
Mhm.
Then we have some other ones with, similar like the Green Light, Plexicon, First Light Fiber, anywhere from 230 to 900. So we're at the far end.
Gotta be something pulled.
You were doing.
Yeah, they're just running fiber or whatever.
Star high, Christine.
That's, I would say, yeah.
Star high.
Verizon.
Star high, that's right.
They complain, we can always.
They
$8.99.
never ask us. Really?
Moving on to Sunny Solar, please.
So you all have this packet right here. It's showing the resolution we're asking the board to pass. And the figures included in this resolution are detailed in the attached paperwork. So their sales tax exemption amount, they're requesting based on taxable items of 38 million plus is a state and local sales tax exemption of 3,077,211. Then we have the breakdown of those expenses here for you and what exactly they're spending that money on. Followed by the mortgage tax exemption, showing you the total mortgage amount above 33 million. That will be with one bank yet to be determined. And their mortgage tax exemption they're requesting is 0.25% of that figure, so it's 248,843. Okay. And then the large spreadsheet is showing you the same $10,000 per megawatt payment with a 2% increase is exactly what you approved prior. And the 100% taxation projection is updated with assuming 2024 as year one. And it's resulting in a total estimated real property tax abatement of $209,900.01.
How many megawatts was that based on?
20.
Right, but the taxable rate that we approved before. full taxation was 10,000 per megawatt.
I thought it was 10,000.
Yeah, we did 10,000 per megawatt is what you approved.
Previously, 'cause I thought I saw something in their revised application for a different rate. They had like scanned in some of the pages that didn't change, and then they had done the original, those are the other ones, and I thought that number looked like it was different.
Let's pull it up because they didn't ever mention requesting a change to their. They said they wanted to increase sales tax exemption and to add the mortgage tax exemption, so. We weren't looking at, had no discussion about that, so. Maybe we overlooked it. Do you happen to know what page maybe?
Original, like not one of the.
We actually had to follow up with them independently for their mortgage and sales tax figures because both Joe's office and I, we didn't really see it clearly in this app.
This is the one up on.
Yes, it is. So we had them submit a new application fee, which we received this month to have us go through this whole process once again, of public hearing. This resolution we're asking you to pass is the acknowledgement of the submission and authorizing a public hearing going through the process.
So Christine, will you do another cost benefit analysis?
I will.
One of the pages with the blue boxes.
Okay, that's good.
There's only.
Yeah, it might be very. There.
Wonder if-
Per megawatt.
6,000.
Now, I
Six.
wonder if they just copied their old version.
They had on some of this stuff, that's why I was.
Yeah, he is great. Let's see, page 20 of their old one. Let's see. I'm just wondering if that was an oversight and they just copied their old, or if they're really intending to
Oversight, trust me.
ask for that. Because
So,
we went through such a long,
Well, that's just it, it's like I
With
hate to
them, yeah.
reopen this whole can of worms, you know, I mean, the.
yeah, but you can't fix it if we sign the documents and send it to them. We can't do anything about it then.
so
Well, we could,
if
we
you're not,
could amend it, we could amend it here, right? So we could amend it here, move forward and sign it, and then they haven't signed it yet. So we throw it back to them. So amend, we officially amend whatever page number that was to be agreed upon, it currently states 6,000.
and ask them.
The
to
IDA,
use
we're
the-
not asking them anything, right? The IDA will approve it at 10,000,
Right,
right? And then
yeah,
amend the contract and send it back to them.
the resolution,
So would that work or not?
Yeah.
But we don't go all the way back to the drawing board. We really have one spot. It could be an oversight.
Yeah.
We've company. Could be.
so the resolution here was based on the 10,000 per megawatt. And if we pass this resolution, it would be saying we're not considering the 6,000.
That's what I was trying to remember, I couldn't find where our old resolution was, because I mean,
And
obviously,
then we
we're.
just notify them that we had 6,000 on here, but we had agreed upon 10,000.
Yeah, because we had provided
I like
some
that.
level of exemption over the period of the pilot, but it was nominal, it was 200 some thousand over the
Yep.
long period of time. That's why I didn't think it started right at 10, because that's full taxation.
Correct. No, we started at 10,000 prior and we were giving them, because it's been 2 years since the projections based on the tax rates, the total exemption went down a little, but it's the same 10,000 megawatt as you approved prior.
So the paragraph in here then where it says
6.
real property tax exemption in an amount not to exceed 209,901,
Yes,
that's based on the.
Based on the 10.
correct.
So the resolution is correct.
Correct.
The application is not.
Somebody made a change.
So I
Tried
would,
to sneak one by us. Good
So
thing
how do we
John-
proceed? Christine, what do you want to do?
Well, yeah, haven't approved this.
One clean and caught on here too, or
It's,
Yeah, this is 10. Yeah, this is fine. This is, we're proving what we have said.
John's, point is on the
on their application,
application,
yeah,
and it was different from what we had.
So
The application is the ask.
well,
Yeah, that's the ask.
I mean,
This
it's
is
the
the-
Okay.
buckets of mortgage tax, but I assume they get exemption on both, it's special and.
mortgage recording tax, 15 is 0.75% of the property.
oh, it's 3/4, sorry if I did
So it's-
3/4 for the math, so that's, sorry, I put this together last minute, it should say 3/4. Thank you so much,
But is our number correct?
yeah.
Martha is in the
It is.
house.
What?
Martha is in the house.
So no.
So here's, is it
Yeah,
right?
well,
Yes, thank you so much.
it's okay. We're happy to have you here.
So here's their original application submission. It looks the same, so either way, we'll have a conversation with them, and let them know where the board stands on 10,000. But it might just be a oversight.
What's the deviation check?
That means
Deviation was asked to get to 6.
deviation was, standard would be a 10-year pilot. So because they're going above 10 years, they had to check deviation.
Motion to approve the resolution on the table.
I'm looking at Joe. Feel comfortable with this
Oh,
resolution?
absolutely.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Opposed?
Always looking for the win. You gotta know who to blame.
Yeah, correct.
It's been the way we want it.
Joe
so there you
said.
go.
So how will that go then? Will,
Spit it out, woman.
will she have to go back to the school and the town to present, to get their okay, like we usually do? Do we need to do that? How, you're gonna do a new cost benefit analysis? You take and present to the school and to the town and let them know what the change is?
I mean, I would let them know, but we don't get their approval.
Okay.
Really,
They
the
don't
implication
have
on them is really not really the new parts of this are don't impact them.
Correct.
Right.
I wouldn't mind though, if you can dig it up, just finding that old map, just because, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I hate to beat a dead horse,
Oh, yeah.
we killed this thing.
I still have it. I'll send it to everybody.
No one knows these guys are crazy going across from my brother.
Got bigger issues than we think.
I'll send you old and the new.
You got guns.
What's next?
Next up, we have loan committee report. So Vicky, Richard, thank you all for being so quick in responding and giving your approval by email vote to revise that disbursement to both IRP and RBAC. Originally, it was to be one IRP loan for 162,500. And we appreciate your quick response so that we could disperse 100,000 by RBAC and 62,500 by IRP. So tonight, I'm just seeking affirmation of your vote by email for the minutes record.
Any motion?
Yeah.
Make a motion.
How about a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks so much.
Don't we need to, motion to approve the loan committee minutes?
We do if we didn't.
No, we did it.
We already
We
did.
Okay.
You said that we were gonna do it later, and I said, no, we're gonna do it.
Okay. Already
I
got-
already got it. Yep.
All right,
I got a check mark next to it.
because I focus on loan committee at the loan committee section.
Reasonable.
We didn't mean it to be.
You did throw me off, actually. All right, please continue.
Broad Street Barber Shop's facade loan is paid in full. And based on what we reviewed during the Hee retreat loan disbursement, we've put together a loan balance projection, which you also all have at the last page of your handout with the agenda. This projects, so the IRP and RBAC funds originally came from USDA. For the IRP portion, we still owe USDA annual payments that total 47,000 roughly. So this shows you all the IRP loan recipients that are still paying and when their payoff date is anticipated, what they pay monthly and annually. And then the lower projection shows the payments out to USDA until they're paid in full, as well as what our fund balance is projected to be on January 1st of each year, based on the principal and interest payments we'll receive back and the USDA payments going out and where we would be. And what it shows is we, based on these assumptions of everybody paying according to their amortization schedule, we can cover all USDA payments until the last 2 years. In 2038 and 39, we would be short that 9,500 and 2,700 roughly. So it's just a projection so that John recommends we review a revised projection every time we consider a loan disbursement to ensure that we're looking forward to affording these USDA payments and not getting in a bad position.
The issue is, we advertise on our loans that we can do up to 100 grand. If we shoot out enough 100 grand right now, big problem.
You'll have,
We'll be underfunded, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, there's a couple of things that probably would make sense to look at, I haven't found it, I didn't look though, what the calculation is for our loan loss reserve.
Yeah.
Because we haven't touched that for a while,
Yep, I can send
Just-
you info
just to
on
make sure there's nothing excess in there.
1% of the principals due. We're above that amount.
I assume we're above, I just
But I
wanna make sure,
would-
I mean, they have more than hers, but
Yeah,
just to make sure we're not grossly overloaded there.
I'll send that to the loan committee.
Yeah.
Okay. More discussion.
Did you want to, I know you mentioned in the pre-meeting about discontinuing the loan program.
No, that's something I would discuss with the loan committee first before recommending. It wasn't something that has crossed my mind whether or not these loan programs are like optimal for IDA to like focusing on, but it's nothing I'm really suggesting right now is closing it or I guess before we pursue additional funding, I would question how important is that really for us to do since we have a redeck and different things, but if it's strongly supported by all, I have no problem. Yeah.
The other thing that might make sense to look at is, there's a lot of money sitting out there in our facade bucket that it sounds like came from Street Act, and whether or not they would support any, reuse of those funds. Because, I mean, you got enough for 20 facade loans out there.
Right.
And
Yeah, I don't-
been pretty late
I
there.
wouldn't
Nobody's
expect
been doing
there.
anything with it.
Just putting it out there, I think it would be a mistake to take away our only local lending pot of money. I wouldn't support it. And particularly right now with the lending climate out there right now with bank rates on the rise, and it's this program, I know it's strong for a while, but that was largely due to the fact that we could get bank funding easy. And the lower rates.
Yeah.
Things are flipping now, and this program's gonna become more relevant, and I wouldn't support.
I agree with Leanne's statements. I mean, again, I think because of the changing rate environment, our costs are fixed, our borrowing costs on this money are fixed. So you've got some ability to be more flexible than a traditional bank does. But we are low on funds. So I mean, again, if there's a way to potentially repurpose some of that facade pot, that really opens you right back up again. You got good money.
What are the restrictions as far as, I know there's a lot of restrictions when you start bouncing money around from one fund to another, but
The facade money right now, we've got about $238,000 out there. Those are only for $20,000 facade loans. Whereas our IRP and our bank loan programs are much more general and up to $100,000.
And they're federal monies, the street act money. We would have more leeway to answer your question. I'm certain if we were to go to street act and say, this is what we'd like to do, they get what's going on in lending right now as well. So I don't expect there would be opposition to it. We have a little more leeway there than we do with the federal funds.
Well, I'm also, you know, if you got a couple of $100,000 there, it's like 100 repurposed it, it's one thing, but how, if you want to make this effective, and I think you're gonna start running into more, like you say, more of these loan issues. When you start, you know, bumping up on 7, 8, 9% interest, you're gonna see more people coming to the table.
Oh, yeah.
So how do
Stopping, walking away.
how do we, you know, how do we bolster that, the ability of that, a fund like that? I mean,
You can go back to
where did it start
USDA.
in the first place? Where did the first
USDA.
pot of money come from?
USDA, you can go back, make another application.
Yeah,
You know, we did it 4 times, well, actually 6 times. You have 4 IRPs and there were originally 2 RBACs. Combined into one, so, you know, we just go back and,
The RBAC money sweeps, we don't pay it back. That's a revolving fund. The IRP money, that's costing us $45,000 a year in principal repayment. So that's what we have to be careful of, because that money's coming out.
mhm.
We leave ourselves too far short in that IRP pot, next thing we're gonna be pulling loan payments from other funds.
Yeah, well, I just.
So our bank
There's
is-
money on the table. There's a program out there that.
Yeah.
That there's money to fund these type of things, then why would you leave that money on the table?
Right. Well, that's where you got Rick Grant.
And that's why you look again, if you look at the facade pot and you look at loan loss reserve, you might be able to replenish right there, just, you know, in the short term.
Yeah. Well, for a longer term piece, go back and try to trade with funding.
Long term, when I go to the REDAC board meetings, they always mention their loan fund sources, and they always say they don't like these USDA ones. They're not even loaning out of them anymore. I didn't question why, but they just label it as cumbersome, but I know they got an ARC grant that then they're dispersing loans from just grant money. That might be an option too. I asked them maybe a copy of their application and how they pursued that, and maybe then it could come with less.
ARC is much easier to work with than the USDA. Tell you.
And certainly, you know, lending out of a grant pool is a whole lot easier
Yeah.
than lending out of borrowed funds that you know you're retired.
Yeah.
So we'll figure all that.
Dot Richter's wonderful. If you wanna, you know Dot?
Yes,
Okay. You're the one to pick her brain a little bit.
I work with her on R2 ARC grant. Yeah. And ARC definitely seems a little tricky in its own way, but easy in the oversight. Okay. Next up, we have sales tax exemptions are continuing to be reported and within their authorized limits. Grants for the Richford Railroad and the Raymond Hadley are ongoing with Larson Design Group making progress.
The Raymond Hadley,
Yeah.
so they're trying to extend that from Benetton, or from Benetton to Spencer.
Yeah, that's one of the things being investigated
Yeah.
and the most likely, I suppose.
I would think, I mean, look at water.
It is a lot.
That's up on the other side up by that little factory.
In the study, we asked them to consider alternatives, like an independent system, and really look at what is
Yeah.
useful. That question.
Because they're in trouble, they might have to move that plant if they can't get water, right?
Or stop expanding and growing, which certainly isn't what they want. Yeah, it's
No, that-
definitely a problem for them. And then they've checked in with me on, you know, when do we expect this report to be finished? Can we have a copy? They seem really urgent and hopeful to really get something done about it.
Was that Johnny or Jacinto?
Just until I let them.
Jacinto?
Wonder they haven't thrown a pipe over there in that pond to draw the water out of it.
I don't know how that's gonna test it. Yeah,
So
Yeah.
part of this study will look into what the cost would be to the town of Annette and their water users, like what would the direct impact of cost be to them? So that they could consider that by their own public hearings, et cetera.
Yeah, and are they gonna take so much water that they don't have enough to that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm just.
They have plenty of capacity according to initial meetings we had. They have a lot of water there.
You've never been involved with fire departments, especially.
No.
Just, okay. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I haven't heard of fire coming up. I know they said they have plenty of capacity. They're worried about the cost to their
We
users.
have a ton of experience with water tanks now.
Too soon, too soon.
I know it's
Oh, bad joke.
Well, that's a neat, I mean, that's a huge thing for that community. 'Cause it'll be the politics of it, right, Leanne?
Yep.
Are gonna be the hard part.
Well, what's the impact
Crossing
moving
municipalities.
water at that distance? What's the impact to other real estate between the two points?
Yeah.
You know, that's always been an issue. I mean, even on 434, go out and look at real estate, it's, you know, the gas stops here and there's no municipal water there and there's no sewer here.
Spotty.
So when you started saying that, I mean, that's the selling point, really. It's not just that one individual. Again, it's.
Well, yeah, and then all the people in between are gonna be like, well, how come I can't? I
Well,
wanna get me.
Well, that's what
That's
I'm
the
saying.
thing,
It might be
people more
some
using
benefit all the way down the line.
and that's where the
That's
school
all.
district,
I don't know the area well enough. to talk
school
about
district could be a player.
Yeah.
Gonna go right by that school.
We'll go by both of them.
Now, let's talk about, there
So-
would be perhaps opt-in or out options.
Gotta be
Then there's
water tank.
different ways. They might be required to pay toward it, but still opt out and keep their well. I guess where citizens might get riled up.
Oh, yeah, if you make them pay for water and they don't use it, yeah, they
Yeah.
might get hard enough. Neighborhood would be real hard on.
The people up there, you don't want that.
I survived it for 11 years, yeah, I'm telling you.
Weston's still there.
Oh, yeah, Dale's still up there on the hill. So as you get into politics of that more, that might be something that, you know what I mean, we know a lot of those people. So,
Okay,
and the school district could be a player in there, and Barbara's great,
okay,
so as long as she understands what she. trying to
Sign it
help out
up for.
with. Yeah, yeah,
okay. Well, that'll be interesting when we get there.
yeah. See if they can design it, and let's see if we can get it passed.
All right. So the ARC Penn Buildings grant, which is covering half of our engineering design plan and cost estimate for the two 40,000 square foot buildings. We submitted the application using Larson Designs Group's proposal. That is what the cost of the approved grant considered. ARC wanted us to get more proposals for their procurement policy, although ours did not require it because it's professional services. So I went ahead, I got Hunt, Fagan, Delta all submitted proposals, which happened to come in above Larson Designs Group original price. So I'm requesting the board authorize we proceed with Larson Design Group as the lowest bid.
They all come in substantially on it.
We did.
Sometimes the wording, things, it's a little more difficult than compare apples to apples.
Had time to review that, look at them. They were really well done.
The only one that was, I mean, Delta was like a marketing piece.
It was.
Yeah.
It really was.
I mean, they, I
This much was about what the.
was like, what's going on? I mean, unless
It's
you
really
read,
swanky, I know.
unless you read the RFP, you're like, what is this?
It was very fancy, yep.
Perfect.
How about a second?
So,
All in favor?
I,
Opposed?
surprised you got it.
Thank you.
that's done.
Well, Tim Steed's pretty great from.
What else you got, Christine?
Sharp.
Yeah. It's one good guy.
The only other thing to report on regular session is regarding the water tank ESD grant reimbursement, which I had reported we expected to receive by August 19th. I'm working with Tammy at ESD. She said she had to wait until that 90-day period was up to check on a status update since we didn't receive the money. She looked into it for me. She said, we have been assigned a new auditor who's just being a little extra detailed on the review. And
Like everything else in that water.
Sounds like, yeah, look at you when you make eye contact.
so,
Where's Aaron?
Aaron.
so they asked for a few more documents. I submitted those. I talked to Tammy on the phone today. She really said it is just a new auditor being a little extra detailed, and then we'll get through it.
Being all over again.
Working on that. Interestingly, that they don't provide any feedback in that first 90 days or resolve by 90, I think, so. We'll get it. And that's all I have.
Good.
Christine, if they go back on this, these are the calculations here. For the Montrose.
Yeah,
So we were, I remember now, because they reissued a new way of assessment in the middle of this whole process.
exactly.
So we went with full assessment on the old means of assessment, which is the $200 and some thousand reduction from the new means of assessment.
The assessed value here under assessment showing 4.375 million is their projected assessed value
Based on the
based on real
spreadsheets.
property department, based on the new valuation.
Right,
that's it.
right.
And it was, if I pull up the old version, it was 5 million plus.
So that's, is
And I'll
that the
pull it
number
up right
that's in
now.
our, yeah, so that's the number that's in here. So, okay, so you don't have to worry about sending them.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it was, if you're good on this.
No, I'm good with that. Yeah, it's because it's right in the bottom right-hand corner where that came from.
Yeah, it's showing that 4.492 plus would be their 100% taxation value. And then their total pilot payments 4,282. So we're not offering or considering a large property tax abatement, just over 200,000. So that's all for Becky.
I have a couple personnel items for executive session. I would like to ask Megan, you're excused, and you don't have to come back. We'll keep it posted. Christine and Leanne, I would ask you to leave for executive.
Sounds good. I'm just gonna end because we're not coming back.